Oh, baby, back from MetLife Stadium and into the Notsam studio because we have feelings. Welcome to an emergency Notsam wrestling podcast. Why? Because Cody Rhodes is the WWE champion. Oh, and Brock Lesnar is back. Night 2 of SummerSlam is in the books, and the headline reads, Brock Lesnar has returned to the WWE. We got this match with Cody Rhodes and John Cena in the main event, and the match was transformed, in my opinion, by John Cena's promo on SmackDown, to the point where even to have a discussion about the match on like the WWE Countdown show, you had to now adapt this conversation into being, is John Cena being legitimate? In his promo, we did a whole emergency podcast breaking down the John Cena promo. Is John Cena being legitimate? And will Cody Rhodes be able to kind of maintain his virtue, even though he's already stated that sometimes doing the right thing doesn't look like the right thing? And so the question ends up being, is Cena going to return? Is it going to be a swerve where Cena turns? Is Cody going to turn and be a heel? Is The Rock going to come back? Is Travis Scott going to come back? These were really all the questions going into this match, as well as who's going to be the WWE champion. What no one predicted, what nobody said would happen, is that both gentlemen would leave baby faces and Brock Lesnar would be back in the WWE. But that's exactly how it went down. So for me, yes, the Cena heel turn is babyface turn was absurdly fast. But I here's where I land. I land the same thing that I said in the emergency podcast about the promo itself, is that a show like Unreal that explains the step-by-step process of what happened is what John Cena is referencing when he says he decided to sacrifice his principles and his reputation, flush him down the toilet, because one man thought that doing this would make shocking television. It's basically his way of saying, I realize now this was all a mistake. And Cody Rhodes asking him to be the old John Cena is the catalyst. And what we end up having is certainly by far the best John Cena match of this year, of this run. And one of the great John Cena matches, in my opinion. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena was fantastic. A street fight that was every bit a street fight, but also just a fabulous wrestling match where we told a story throughout the entire thing. John Cena looking at the crowd, doing things. John Cena was in full fan service mode. John Cena was giving the crowd exactly what they wanted. You can't see me. To the point where a stadium in New Jersey was chanting Super Cena. When they started chanting Super Cena, you understand, New Jersey fans, New York fans, Philly fans, these are the fans that were booing John Cena because he was Super Cena. Now they're actually chanting Super Cena because they are so happy to have old John Cena back. And as I'm watching this match go back and forth, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Of course, I'm waiting for something to happen. Because as I've said in whatever one of the 150 podcasts I've done over the course of the last weekend, once that promo hit, something had to happen. At that point, something is going to happen on SummerSlam Sunday. And you're waiting for that something basically the entire match. You know, I thought, so they go out in the crowd, and then Cody and John end up beneath the stage. And then the stage comes up with the two of them on it, and now John Cena has Cody draped across his shoulders. And when that happened, I thought that we were going to have some reveal that, like, Travis Scott was under the stage and had smacked Cody in his other ear, or The Rock was under the stage, or somebody else was under the stage and knocked Cody unconscious somehow. And then John Cena, had him on his back, brought him to the ring, and Cody was playing possum the whole time. So, in hindsight, clearly there wasn't somebody under the stage that knocked him unconscious because he wasn't unconscious. John Cena must have just hit him with a couple of moves while we couldn't see, and he was playing possum. But they go back and forth, and the match gets to the point where Cody has unbuckled the rope from the ring. You know, not like not taking the turnbuckle cover off the turnbuckle, but physically taken that the turnbuckle itself and removed it from the pole, and is waiting now to hit John Cena with it, and he hits him with it once, and he hits him with it twice, and both times he doesn't really want to do it, but he's willing to do it. Cody has learned from his experience with John Cena. Cody asked for a street fight. Cody wants a real fight. And every time Cody is doing this, fans are booing him because fans have now bought into this story of maybe John Cena is the good guy and Cody is the bad guy. And there were plenty of fans in the building that I'm sure thought that John Cena might be swerving him. But I think for all of us, it was okay. Like, I think a lot of fans didn't mind the idea of being swerved. I think that a lot of fans were so happy that OG John Cena was back that it was almost like, yeah, and if he ends up swerving us, he ends up swerving us. But now I'm on this road. I trust this story more than the story that we were on previously. And as this match is going on, there's a big part of me going, well, maybe this is what we wanted all along. Maybe the whole thing was overthought. You know, and there were a lot of people before WrestleMania, before Elimination Chamber, that said if John Cena versus Cody Rhodes is your main event, I don't know. I don't know. Babyface versus babyface, there's nothing more to it. And of course, now it's not that there's more to it now. But the fact is that Cody versus Cena, babyface versus babyface, was so much better than Cody versus Cena, babyface versus heel. Seeing John Cena go full force because he doesn't have to worry about being a heel is what made this match so much better than the WrestleMania match. And they did go full force. And Cody hit him with 3 crossroads, the same thing Roman Reigns got hit with. John Cena kicked out of it. John Cena hit Cody Rhodes with 3 attitude adjustments, even one off the top rope. Cody Rhodes kicked out of it. John Cena smashed Cody Rhodes through a table by taking an attitude adjustment from one table onto the Spanish announce table, I believe. Pulled him back in the ring. Cody Rhodes kicked out of it. Finally, John Cena even at one point brought tables into the match just because fans love tables so much. He was like, oh, I know what you'll like. I know what could be fun. And he brings out tables. And he does it for the fans because it's fan service John. 10,000%. And sometimes fans just want a little fan service, especially when the upper card of WWE has been monopolized by a heel storyline that hasn't fully formed. And so we get this now. And the fact that it moved so quickly, it's almost like John Cena acknowledged that it just didn't work. It never found what it was supposed to be. And John Cena acknowledging that the people who were supposed to be on his team just left now becomes a story into and of itself. The idea that The Rock, at some point, the final boss, could have something to say about what John Cena said on SmackDown and how he acted on SummerSlam is not out of the realm of possibility. Stories are never over. So Cody Rhodes is finally, he does the salute to John Cena, reminiscent almost of Shawn Michaels telling Ric Flair, I'm sorry, I love you. Hits him with one more crossroads, and that's it. 1, 2, 3. Cody is now a 2-time WWE champion. For once, the championship doesn't get switched at WrestleMania. For the first time since the inception of that championship, the champion held the title for less than a year. And Cody is the WWE champion. And then the belt is laying in the middle of the ring, and John stands up and gives it to Cody. And I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the nut kick. I'm waiting for something. I'm waiting for the happy face to turn into the mad face. I'm waiting for something to happen. And it doesn't. Cody Rhodes leaves. Cody Rhodes says thank you. And he walks away with the WWE championship. Back to being the captain. Back to being QB1 of the WWE and presumably on to whatever the next story is. John Cena, however, is still in the middle of the ring. And at this point, people are saying, thank you, John. Thank you, John. And he's saying, no, thank you. And there's still an energy in the room. It just doesn't feel like, and it's interesting because people will tell you it could have ended right there. And I suppose it could have. But had it ended right there, I think most of us would be saying, I'm still waiting for what's next. It just felt like there was something else coming. Whether it was The Rock, whether it was Cody turning heel, whether it was something, there was something else coming. You can't just have John, over the course of one promo, become a babyface again. Have this main event at SummerSlam where people can no longer say, I don't know, John Cena doesn't wrestle like he used to. John Cena's missed a step. Like, to have all that and to not have this something else, whatever this something else is, doesn't feel right. And all of a sudden, of all the things that I thought may happen, this never occurred to me, not once. Brock Lesnar's music hits. And I mean, it's recognized, even before it goes boom, 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 boom. That opening riff, whatever it is. I don't know if it's a riff, because I don't know if it's technically on a guitar or whatever, but that opening sound of the music, everybody immediately knows what it is. And the giant SummerSlam-tron immediately becomes that Brock Lesnar logo. And I mean, you just listen to it. The crowd absolutely loses their mind. The crowd was so in to this main event. The crowd was so into Cody and John. And and even moments where, like, the crowd is booing Cody for cheating, and Cody is looking at them going, I'm sorry. Like, I get it. You have every right to boo me. But this is what I have to do. And then, like, seeing the reaction that the entire 60,000 person stadium had to Brock Lesnar returning. And Brock Lesnar and SummerSlam are synonymous. Brock Lesnar's first SummerSlam is SummerSlam 2002. He beats The Rock for the WWE Championship. Brock Lesnar returns at SummerSlam after Roman Reigns beats John Cena. Brock Lesnar flips the ring over at SummerSlam in the Roman Reigns match. Brock Lesnar leaves the WWE at SummerSlam, I think 2 years ago, after Cody beats him and he raises Cody's arm. Much like tonight was a passing of the torch, for sure. John Cena had his passing of the torch match tonight against Cody Rhodes, handing him the WWE Championship. Brock Lesnar, in a way, passed the torch when he raised Cody's arm in the air. But now, it's a different Brock. Brock Lesnar moseys on down to the ring, and he's got his cowboy hat on. And he's smiling like he's happy about what he's about to do, but also has this hideously mean look on his face. And he walks all the way around the ring to where the commentary tables are, and he takes his hat off. And it's almost like he's like sizing things up, and he makes his decision. He gets in the ring, and immediately Cena goes for him, misses. Brock Lesnar F5s John Cena, leaves him laying. Brock leaves the ring and puts his cowboy hat back on. And the rest of us are wondering, what is the reason that Brock Lesnar, from a narrative perspective, is back in the WWE? Who sent Brock Lesnar? What is his motivation? Did Brock Lesnar just see John Cena deciding to give himself a year and say, no, you can't have a year? Did Brock Lesnar see John Cena say, you know what, I'd like to dedicate the rest of my run to the fans, and say, no, it's not worth dedicating the rest of your run to the fans? Was Brock Lesnar sent by The Rock or something like that to punish John Cena for what he's done? I don't know. Maybe. I don't think so, but maybe. And how does Brock Lesnar exist with the rest of the roster in the WWE? Like, is Brock Lesnar simply back for John Cena? You know, we talk about Mr. SummerSlam. Brock Lesnar is a Minneapolis guy. He's a Minnesota guy. I don't know if he's a Minneapolis guy. He's a Minnesota guy. And next year's SummerSlam is in Minnesota. Is Brock Lesnar going to come back for a year and do a run similar to John Cena? Is Brock Lesnar going to go to Paris and fight John Cena? Or are we going to have a scenario where Brock Lesnar will be in and out? And what if Brock Lesnar says, you know what? I want to fight you in your last match, John Cena. What if we wait all the way till December to have the match between Brock Lesnar and John Cena? Brock Lesnar is there to spoil it. Is there a version of this where Brock Lesnar is interacting with other members of the roster? Does Brock Lesnar have thoughts on what Paul Heyman is doing with the World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed? Are there problems there? What does Brock Lesnar think about Cody Rhodes and the job that he's done as WWE Champion? When Brock left, Cody was still working on finishing his story. Now, Cody is a completely different person. Does Brock Lesnar have thoughts on that? Are we going to see another Cody-Brock Lesnar match? Maybe he no longer is comfortable with the way he left things with Cody Rhodes. Or maybe Cody Rhodes has nothing to do with this at all. But the idea that this happens at a SummerSlam, that you get this big return and we push forward, really tells you that there is a lot cooking in the WWE right now. The fact that we had a 2-night SummerSlam and we have 2 massive angles that both work to a T. It's almost like WWE realized coming off of WrestleMania 41, okay, WrestleMania 40 worked incredibly. Maybe not everything at WrestleMania 41 worked exactly how we wanted it to work. So what are we going to do? Let's figure it out. Let's not do anything dramatic. Let's get to SummerSlam, and let's have a 2-night SummerSlam show where both nights end on these massive, completely show-stopping angles. I feel like Brock's not going to be the last match for John Cena. I feel like Brock is going to be the next match for John Cena. But at the same time, Brock really doesn't lose. Is Brock coming back to the WWE to lose to John Cena? I suppose it's possible. Maybe he has deep respect for John Cena. I really have no idea what his motivation would be. But, I mean, I feel like, who knows? Maybe we end up with some kind of, you know what could be really interesting is if Brock Lesnar and John Cena. So, I mean, you've now got a scenario where Cody Rhodes is the champion. So theoretically, we're going to get, unless either one of them lose the championship in October, it's looking like Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. If we're still doing champion versus champion at Crown Jewel in Perth, Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins is a big match. But I don't know. So if Brock is facing John Cena soon, then what comes after John Cena? Or will it be a series of matches for John Cena? Also, John Cena is still around for the War Games. We've never seen John Cena in a War Games match. What if you figured out a way to extend this story all the way to November and have a War Games team led by Brock Lesnar versus a War Games team led by John Cena? And what if John Cena imagine John Cena, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Jey Uso, and Cody Rhodes. Imagine if that is a War Games team. And imagine if on the other side you've got Brock Lesnar. He's gotten back into business with Paul Heyman, so you've got Seth Rollins. You could add in the whole Rollins faction if you wanted to. Add Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed in there if you wanted to. I don't know that it would make sense to put like a Logan Paul on Brock Lesnar's team, but you could certainly put Drew McIntyre in there, because I would have to believe that now that Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul won their match, that Drew McIntyre is going to be coming after Cody at some point. Maybe that's Cody's next thing. So the potential here is definitely a War Games Team John Cena versus Team Brock match, because I don't think it's going to be another bloodline thing. But I think as far as, who knows? Imagine if they're trying to clash in Paris, you got Stephanie Vaquer, who is now going to be facing Naomi. You could potentially have Brock and John Cena. You could potentially have Cody and Drew. You could potentially have Seth and Punk for the World Heavyweight title. There's so much potential for what we're doing coming off of SummerSlam. And does Brock show up on Monday Night Raw? Do we really have to wait? Technically, if Brock is going after John Cena is not a SmackDown guy. He's not advertised to be at Raw. But he's not, John Cena's not a SmackDown wrestler. He's not on any roster in particular at all. Is Brock Lesnar, I mean, if I'm Netflix, I'm calling WWE right now and saying Brock Lesnar better show up on Raw. Because say what you say, everybody is tuning in to see this guy talk. Everybody is tuning in to find out what Brock Lesnar's plan in WWE is. And I mean, I can't wait to figure it out. You know, I'm here for another Brock Lesnar match with John Cena. Of all the rivalries that John Cena has had, Brock Lesnar versus John Cena is all the way up there. I'd love to hear what you think. This is all about feelings. Leave those feelings in the comments if you're watching on YouTube. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and hitting like on the video. If you're listening in audio, make sure you're subscribed across all audio platforms, be it Apple, Spotify, even the SiriusXM app. Leave a rating, leave a review. You could leave your opinion in the review. And look, we're going to talk to you soon again here on Notsam Wrestling. I would imagine the weekly podcast will go up, I would imagine, on Wednesday. That's going to be my guess. I'm going to guess Wednesday. We're all going to find out if I'm right. We'll talk then.